You are listening to the Hypnotic Bedtime Story, Part 5. Close your eyes, breathe in and breathe out, and listen to my voice. We will begin with a short relaxation session and an update of how the story has progressed so far. Then we will go into even deeper relaxation and listen to this episode of the Hypnotic Bedtime Story. And focus on your breathing. Breathe deeply and evenly. As you relax into your breathing, you may notice how your breathing is slowing down. As you're breathing deeply and evenly, feel your stomach muscles rise and fall. With each breath, you are growing more relaxed. Focus on your feet and let the tension go. And have this feeling of warmth and relaxation travel up your calves, past your knees and hips. Feel your stomach muscles relax and your behind. Your back muscles relax and your chest muscles too. As you're breathing slowly and calmly, your shoulders let go of their tension and your arms and hands. Your hands feel very heavy and loose. Your neck relaxes and your head sinks into the pillow. Focus on your forehead, your eyes, and your cheeks, and let go of any tension you have there. Now unclench your jaw and let that fall, and your lips are slightly parted, as they are also very relaxed. And as you relax, breathing deeply and evenly, your lips are slightly parted. Breathe in and breathe out. Focus on my voice. If at any time your thoughts begin to wander, this is your cue to focus on my voice. Clear your mind of all upsetting and distracting thoughts. Your mind is completely empty. Feel yourself floating in the soft blackness. Your mind is clear and listening to my voice. Right now, the only two things in the world are my voice and your comfort. Feel yourself floating in the soft blackness, and you become very aware of the soft bed underneath you that is softly supporting your weight. You feel very heavy and very relaxed, and you are floating in the soft blackness. As you listen to my voice, this is a very pleasant feeling, and your mind begins to drift and wander, drift and wander. Your mind is now completely empty and just hears my voice. Right now, the most important thing is to go deeper into this feeling. You're sinking deeper and deeper into a state of calm relaxation. Breathe in and breathe out. Up until this point in the story, you were at your cabin in the mountains when a strange object appeared in front of you that was somewhat like a ball. You followed it to the top of a hill, where it became a metal rod that you stuck in the ground, causing an elevator to come up out of the ground. You took the elevator up in the air, where it dropped you out with a bubble that encased you safely, and you sunk to the bottom of the ocean, where you spent some time in a strange world in the dark depths of the ocean. In this strange world were strange fish beings, one called Siloquy, who became your friend. This entire world in the dark depths made its own light. You enjoyed yourself there, and then your bubble took you back to shore, where it popped, and you got on a new elevator. This elevator took you up in the sky again, and when the doors opened, there was a giant zeppelin that you got on, and it was inhabited by ants, giant human-like ants, and two men called Bill and Bob. You met the captain, who said she had an important mission for you. The ship tilted and rocked, and you and the human members of the crew all jumped out of the zeppelin with parachutes, where you landed safely on the beach. You walked along the beach and came to a giant staircase, where you went up the stairs and into a large building, where you talked to the President of the United States, and then were taken down into the basement, where there was some people in pajamas watching you fall asleep with headphones on. You had been told that there was something very, very important inside you that could save these people. You fell asleep with your headphones on, and now it's the time to relax even deeper, to hear the rest of the story. Focus again on your breathing. Breathe in and breathe out. Your breathing is slow, calm, and loose. Your breathing now has slowed down, and you're comfortably breathing in and out. Focus on your breathing as you clear your mind of all upsetting and distracting thoughts. You're floating in the soft darkness. This is a very calm, quiet world you are in. This is a very, very pleasant feeling. As you listen to my voice, you know the only thing that's really important right now is sinking deeper and deeper into this feeling. As you sink deeper and deeper, you can still hear my voice. You want to go to sleep. You enjoy falling asleep. You will fall almost asleep, but not quite. You will still be able to hear my voice. You're drifting deeper and deeper, and as you do, you're listening to my voice. You'll fall almost asleep, almost, but not quite. As you're floating in the soft darkness, you imagine the feeling you get just before you fall asleep. Almost asleep, but not really. You're in a deep, deep state of relaxation and enjoying listening to my voice. As you float in the soft darkness, you may notice how my words can make pictures. As I describe something to you, you will be able to see this in your mind. If I were to describe a shiny blue ball, you would see a picture in your mind of a shiny blue ball. As I tell the rest of the story, in your mind's eye you will see pictures made from my words. You can fill in the details. You can know what color things are, what shape and what size. You know what the patterns are. I may not know, but you will know. Now breathe deeply and evenly. You will stay in this very relaxed state until I'm finished telling the story or you fall asleep. You are lying in a bed. You feel how very, very soft the bed is. You're floating in the soft darkness, and as you fall asleep in this world, you're awakening in the story. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and out. You feel warm, loved, and comfortable as you feel in the soft bed beneath you. You open your eyes, and you're very surprised to see you're no longer in the room surrounded by mirrors. You're lying in a double bed in a bedroom with wood paneling on the walls and some pictures that seem familiar. As you look around the room, it seems familiar to you, yet you can't seem to remember it. It's almost like you have a strange feeling of déjà vu. As you sit up in your bed, to your right, up against the wall, is a large wooden dresser with 6 drawers. Beside that is a door. On the other side of the dresser is another door. At the end of the bed, there is a small table with a large mirror, and on the table is a pitcher and basin, and there is a small wrought iron chair in front of this little table. The bedding is like the bedding on your own bed, only bigger because this is a double bed. There's nobody in it but you. There's white sheets and white pillows and a big fluffy white comforter. You look down at your pajamas, and they're different now. Now the pajamas you are wearing are a set of men's white flannel pajamas with nothing on them but white. This seems very odd to you. As you get up and you walk to the one door that is closest to you and you open it, and on the other side of the door you're seeing the room from your cabin in the mountains. But this one is somewhat different. The single bed's missing. The pictures on the wall, some of them are the same and some of them are a little different. The room looks the same, but not quite. You can't really put your finger on it. You feel as though a long time has passed since the last time you were here. And you're very puzzled because your cabin didn't have a bedroom before. You walk up to the ancient wooden door with the crystal handle and are surprised to see this is a new wooden door with a brass handle. You open the door, and there's the old wooden screen door that still creaks just the same. But your front porch is different. It's no longer the old wooden front porch. Now it's a brand new deck, about 12 feet by 12 feet. On it are some brand new wooden chairs. This is very odd. You walk across the deck and you're very much struck by the difference in scenery. It's very obviously early morning as you look out and see no mountains. The pine trees are now broadleaf trees, and it is very obviously nearly fall. Some of the leaves have started to turn red and gold and yellow and brown. Most of the leaves are still green. You also see directly in front of you, instead of the long road going to the highway, there's a short stretch of front lawn that ends at a very narrow beach, only about 2 feet wide. And beyond that is a very, very calm, still lake. It's not a very big lake, You can see the trees on the other side. There are no signs of life here, except for two very lazy ducks very calmly swimming across the inky black surface of the water. The light is gray, and there is mist along the ground and on the lake, very fine mist. The air is slightly cool on your face, and the deck is covered in dew and feels cold under your bare feet. You go back into the cabin and look around for your favorite old slippers, but they are nowhere to be found. You look in your closet, and there are no clothes there at all. In your bedroom, you go to the second door and open it, and it is a closet, but the only thing hanging in there are white flannel pajamas, and there are no shoes or no slippers. You leave your bedroom and you go back out onto your deck, very puzzled. You see no other signs of life in the calm stillness. You breathe in and breathe out. You smell the air, and the air smells very good. You smell dirt and water, wet leaves, even a little bit of a fish smell. This is a very pleasant smell. There are 3 steps at the front of your deck, and you go down them 1, 2, 3. As you walk across the grassy front lawn, you're focusing on a dock that goes from your little beach out into the lake a little ways. It's about 4 feet wide and about 30 feet long, made of old boards that have turned gray and are ragged at the edges. There's moss on the wood. And step onto the deck. It's a little cold and slippery and slimy under your feet, and it feels a little creaky and unsure, but you decide to trust it just the same as you walk out to the end and look down into the water. The water is crystal clear, and you can see the bottom. You're not too sure how far down the bottom is, but the water is very, very clean and clear. On the bottom you can see green weeds, very still, that look like long green hair, gray and black stones, covered in moss, looking very ancient, and you see a school of very small silvery fish swim by. And then something catches your eye. It's twinkling with its own little blue light, like a diamond or a crystal. You're not too sure what size it is or how far away it is, but it's beautiful. You're absolutely fascinated and mesmerized by the blue twinkling light coming from the crystal on the bottom of the lake. You sit down on the dock, and it feels a little cold and wet on your behind as you very gently lower 1 foot into the water and are surprised at how very warm it is. You look out across the lake at the mist and think a little bit of the mist might be steam caused by the water being so warm in comparison to the cool air around you. You put another foot into the water and you wave them around, watching the light dance over your feet in the very, very clean water. The warmth and stillness of the water is encouraging you, so you jump in, and you are very surprised to feel like you are sinking and sinking deeper and deeper into the water. You look up above you and see the surface of the water. As you're sinking deeper and deeper, you do not feel afraid. As you go deeper and deeper into the inky black water, and the surface above you is slowly moving away, The gray light is fading as you sink deeper and deeper. You're having a hard time holding your breath, and you feel it's okay to breathe. So you take a deep breath in and realize you're not drowning, that you are perfectly able to breathe underwater. This is a very pleasant feeling as you're softly sinking. Your rate of descent begins to slow, and you feel yourself softly, softly, softly sinking down as the gray light above you fades away, and you sink softly, softly, softly in the blackness. The light begins to fade away, and now you're just floating gently down in the warm, soft black water. You feel completely safe and secure as you breathe deeply and evenly. You're enjoying this feeling, floating down, sinking deeper, and then very gently, as if landing on a very soft bed, your back comes to rest on the bottom. Moving in slow motion, you sit up, and ahead of you, you see a tiny white light. You're very fascinated by the soft white glow as it gets closer to you. And then you realize what you're seeing is a fish. And it looks like an angelfish. As it comes closer, you realize that this is your old friend Siloquy. As she swims towards you, it's hard to tell, but it looks like she's smiling. If fish can smile, that's just the feeling you get from her. You smile and try to say hello, but it comes out muffled and strange. For some reason, your vocal cords don't know how to speak in the water. You feel a thought come from her that says, "Be quiet and be safe, and please listen to my thoughts. You must find the crystal. The crystal's very important. You must find the crystal. The crystal's very important to us. Please bring the crystal back with you and keep it with you. Please bring the crystal back with you and keep it safe." You look around you but see no crystal, and try to tell her you can't see it. But she still says, "Please, please find the crystal and keep it safe." And you watch Siloquy with her 6-foot-long angel fish head as she swims back and forth, waving her tentacles behind her, long tentacles like some kind of strange squid, and she's glowing with her own light. She goes one way and you're looking at her eye, and then she flips the other way and you're looking at her other eye. Her eye is about as big around as a saucer and silver in color, with a black pupil that grows and shrinks ever so slightly. You're very much enjoying watching her one eye go back and forth, and your mind is completely empty and just hears her thoughts. And her thoughts keep telling you the same thing. Keep the crystal safe. Keep all crystals safe. They're very important. You must keep all crystals safe. Find the blue crystal. You decide to stop arguing or asking questions and just listen to this thought. You try to let her know that you don't know where it is, but then she stops and hovers in front of you just for a minute. When she stops and hovers in front of you, And you watch your eye going a little bit up and a little bit down, a little bit up and a little bit down, and you know you will find the blue crystal. You send her a thought, thanking her for the message and telling her you will find it and keep it safe. And then she says, next time I see you, I will see you with both eyes in front of me. Again, you want to ask her exactly what that means, but she turns around and you watch her tentacles flare and come together, and then flare and come together as she swims away from you. You become fascinated watching the motion of her tentacles flower out and then come together, flower out and then come together. You breathe in deeply and evenly, and the water around you begins to turn gray from its former inky blackness. Very, very gradually, it lightens and lightens, and you realize you're sitting on the bottom, on the soft rocks, with the moss and the seaweed, and just about 6 feet above your head is the surface of the water. You very suddenly feel the need to breathe, so you swim up to the surface and take a very deep breath. And all around you is still and gray. You look around the very clear water. The trees are the same and the dock is the same. You take a deep breath, flip over and swim down, and very clearly in front of you, you can see the blue crystal. You pick it up in your hand and it feels very hard and sharp. It's about the size of a marble, no bigger. You hold this precious diamond in your hand, and your hand feels all tingly as you hold it. And this is a very pleasant feeling as you swim up to the surface and are again at your dock. You manage to climb up out of the water onto the dock, and you realize how cold the air is now that you're in your soaking wet pajamas. And you hold on to your precious diamond as you walk back along the dock, being very, very careful not to slip or fall. You walk across the little beach, and your feet feel numb with the cold, and are blue, almost fish belly white is the color. And your feet are almost numb with the cold as you walk across the wet grass, up the 3 steps, and across the deck to your creaky old wooden screen door that creaks the same as it always did as you open it. With your left hand that's not holding your precious diamond, you take a hold of the brass door handle and open the new wooden door, and are again in your cabin. It's just the same as the one in the mountains. Almost, but not quite. You turn to your right and go into the bedroom, and you put your blue, sparkling crystal that has a small light of its own glowing inside onto the dresser. And you open the door to your closet, and you take out a clean pair of flannel pajamas, and you throw them on the bed. You take off your wet pajamas, and you're shivering with the cold. Your new, warm, dry flannel pajamas feel very, very good as you put them on and feel their soft warmth. You pick up your crystal in your hand, and your feet are very, very cold, and you can't find anything to put on them. You decide it's best to get into bed until you've warmed up. You keep your crystal in your hand, and your hand is now tingling pleasantly. as you climb back into your bed and you pull your fluffy white comforter over yourself and you feel the soft pillows beneath your head. You lie there shivering a little bit, and then the shivering gradually stops as you feel warm and relaxed. You focus on your breathing. You're breathing deeply and evenly. Your bedroom is very dark, for it has no windows and the door's closed. You breathe in and breathe out as you hold your tingling crystal. You feel very warm, loved, and comfortable. The crystal is giving you a wonderful feeling of joyous, peaceful calm. As you're breathing in and out and enjoying the warmth and relaxation of your bed, your attention goes to your feet, for where they were numb with cold, now they're feeling very, very warm and hot, almost like they're burning. Almost, but not quite. This is a very pleasant feeling as you relax your feet and feel the warmth and relaxation as they're beginning to warm up. Now you notice this feeling's traveling up to your calves, your lower legs. They also feel very, very warm and comfortable as you are relaxing. The warmth travels up to your thighs, and you feel them sink into the bed as they relax. Your stomach muscles and your lower torso now also has that same feeling of intense heat and warmth. It's traveling up your upper torso, up your back and your chest, and your shoulders fall back into the bed as they relax. Now you're feeling intense warmth travel through your upper arms, down your lower arms, and very much into your hands. Your hands feel very, very warm, where before they were almost numb with the cold. Now they feel very, very hot. Very, very hot, like they're burning almost, but not really. This is an intensely pleasant feeling that travels up your neck and into your head, past your forehead and your eyes, your cheeks, around your lips, and your jaw falls open. You're breathing deeply and evenly. And then finally your nose. Your nose begins to feel very, very warm and a little tingly. You focus on the crystal in your right hand now as it's beginning to heat up, and it's giving off its own special feeling of warmth. It's radiating tingles through your hand and up your arm. This pleasant tingling sensation is traveling up your right arm, across your chest, into your left arm, and down into your left hand. In both your arms, feel this wonderful, relaxed, pleasant tingling. It is now traveling up your neck, into your head and face, and traveling down your chest. It's a feeling that's very, very hard to describe. A wonderful, fuzzy feeling. It's traveling down past your hips and your thighs, into your calves, and finally your feet. Your feet are now enjoying a wonderful, tingling, warm, fuzzy sensation. You feel so loved and safe and secure as you're holding your precious treasure. Your mind becomes completely empty, and you begin to feel drowsy. You're very relaxed and enjoying this feeling. As you breathe in and breathe out, your mind begins to drift and wander, as you're floating in the soft blackness. You're very much enjoying how your mind is completely empty. You're very much enjoying the freedom of floating in the soft black emptiness. As you're there floating for quite a time, you don't know how long. You have a feeling like where you are, time doesn't really matter or doesn't really exist. You feel as if you're floating there for an instant and an eternity all at the same time. Yet you're not worried about this. You're just enjoying the soft ride. Then, off in the distance, you see a little pinprick of white light. Just a pure, white, beautiful light, very, very far off in the distance. This looks very beautiful to you, and you will yourself to float towards it. As you do this, you get a strange feeling like you're in motion, being drawn towards the white light. This is a very pleasant feeling, and the white light gets slightly brighter, but not much, and begins to twinkle a bit as you're traveling towards it. As you get closer, you see floating in the soft blackness a twinkling white diamond that seems to have its own light, twinkling very softly. It is such a beautiful thing. You reach out your left hand towards it, and you take it in your hand, you feel, and in your left hand it feels hard and cold, yet pleasant and secure. You hold your left hand with your diamond in it close to your body, and where your two hands are against your body holding your gems, you feel a strange, heavy feeling of warmth and relaxation. Your stomach muscles are rising and falling gently and slowly, and as they do, your stomach muscles are feeling a heavy kind of warmth that's very relaxing. This warmth that's in the center of your body is spreading out down through your legs. It's spreading through your arms and up through your head and face. As you float, you feel almost as if you're drifting on water now. You feel yourself gently rising and falling, and then you feel as if you're rocking back and forth, gently rocking back and forth in the soft darkness, back and forth. You hold your two gems, and you feel as if you're going to drift off into a long, sound sleep. You're enjoying the feeling of going back and forth. Now you feel safe. For some reason you know that your crystals will keep you safe and that there's something wonderfully magical about them. You're sinking deeper and deeper into a long, sound sleep. You remember the feeling you get just before you go to sleep, and you're following this feeling. Right now, you know the only really important thing is to drift deeper and deeper into this feeling. As you drift deeper into this feeling, your stomach feels very warm and loose as it rises and falls, and you're going to sleep. You're going into a long, sound sleep where you know tomorrow you will wake up feeling refreshed and energized and ready to do what needs to be done. But for now, what is important is falling asleep. I'm going to count backwards from 10. When I get to 0 and say goodnight, you will stay this still, this warm, quiet and comfortable until morning, where you will wake up refreshed and energized and ready to do what needs to be done. 10. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Zero. Good night.